But the same people that are complaining about ICE wearing masks, have they ever said anything about BLM protesters wearing masks?
Well, I mean, that
Have they
that
ever
leads me
said?
to
Have
the
they ever?
question
Have
that,
they
like,
ever
do you
said?
have
Have they?
concerns that it
Let me answer though. Let me answer.
Yeah,
Have
okay.
they ever said anything about the mass protesters that became criminals on college campuses that threatened Jewish students and took over buildings, destroyed property? They were all wearing masks. Did anybody pass legislation saying they can't wear a mask during a protest? No.
That's border czar Tom Homan torching a clueless CNN contributor for supporting the outrage over ICE agents wearing masks, as if that's the real threat. This is the same left, by the way, that applauded masked mobs taking over city streets, doxing jurors, and harassing Tucker Carlson at home. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish, and it looks like the media's mask hysteria has circled back, this time aimed at the men and women keeping the border from turning into a free-for-all. Because when ICE agents wear face coverings to protect their families, it's a crisis. But when it's masked rioters torching cities, it's mostly peaceful. You know, I mean, they can't even pretend to hide the double standard anymore. Here's Homan taking this narrative apart piece by piece.
Well, I think one of the things that's had a lot of folks up in arms is that ICE agents, unlike other law enforcement, have been masked to protect their identities. Like, that's not something that we've really had on this scale in this country. Do
Well,
you?
we never had the scale of attacks on ICE. We have now up 700% attacks on ICE, doxing against
Well, you've
ICE
had
agents. Right?
increased attacks on police officers as well in the wake of the defund the police
We
movement
have.
too, but
You
they
have
haven't put
never seen.
masks on.
You name a police agency that has a 700% increase on assaults. Name one.
I
You
haven't looked
can't.
at that data. Yeah.
You won't find one. The attacks on ICE is unprecedented, 700% increase, and we're not even talking about the doxing of agents, their spouses, and their children. So they're wearing masks to help give them some sort of protection. But
Then do you,
have you seen any legislation proposed to remove masks from protesters that become criminals, that take over college campuses? You haven't. And look at look at the BLM protesters. How many lives were lost? How much property was stolen? They're all wearing masks. Did anybody propose legislation saying it's illegal to wear a mask in public while you're protesting? No, there isn't. This is attacking ICE officers. The Democrats want to vilify men and women at ICE and border. And I said from day one, when President Trump won office, and I came back and said, now the vilification starts. Right now, it's the racist ICE, the racist border patrol for simply enforcing the law to deal with the repercussions of Biden administration's open borders, where millions of criminals and public safety threats were released in this country. So I support ICE wearing masks. You're still wearing insignia. You got an HSI, ERO, or FBI, DEA, but there needs to be some level of protection because the tax is unprecedented. 700%, for God's sake.
You know, ICE agents aren't masking up for fun. They're doing it because we're in a country where leftist activists now make sport out of targeting anyone who doesn't bow to their ideology. I mean, these people have doxed jurors, harassed judges like Aileen Cannon, terrorized people like Tucker Carlson at his own home, and even attacked Tesla owners just for existing. I mean, for crying out loud, a police officer was shot outside an ICE facility on July 4th, and the response from the left has been trying to ban ICE from wearing masks. Meanwhile, they were totally fine with masked BLM rioters trashing cities or masked college protesters terrorizing students. So yeah, Homan's agents are protecting their identities because the threats are real. This isn't some fashion statement, it's a survival strategy. Here's the host trying to guilt trip him with the left's latest sob story about immigration.
but what about folks, Mr. Homan, like that have children here who are American citizens? I mean, we haven't gotten to the birthright piece of it yet, and that's a legal issue. But what about folks with families here who who are legal citizens of the United States right now?
If they're in a country illegally and you choose to have a U.S. citizen child, that's on you. If we want to send a message to the whole world, enter the country illegally, it's a crime, don't worry about it. Show up in court or don't show up in court, get an order removal, don't worry about it. Go have a U.S. citizen child and you're immune. Automatic answer, you're immune. If that's the message we send the whole world, we're never going to solve this problem, which means more people come to the border, more people die making that journey, more women and children get sexually assaulted making that journey. Border Patrol gets overwhelmed, which more fentanyl gets in, more people on terror swats the skin. We lose control of the border. The message we need to send to the whole world, there's a right way and wrong way to come to the greatest nation on earth. You need to come the right way. And I said this in the beginning of the administration. If you choose to have your citizen child, knowing you're here illegally, that's on you. So when that person gets order removed, they got a choice to make. Parenting 101. Do you want to take the child with you or leave the child here with a relative or the other spouse? Up to you. But we're not going to send the message to the whole world, have a U.S. citizen child, and you're immune from our laws.
I mean, this is what passes for journalism now. This interview feels like it's conducted by an intern at Teen Beat or something. And the way she says folks over and over is just like Obama when he needed to sound less like an Ivy League elitist and more like your neighbor's cousin. Homan's exactly right. Breaking the law doesn't become noble just because someone has a family. That logic doesn't apply to thieves or drunk drivers, and it doesn't apply here either. ICE data shows nearly 60% of illegal immigrants rely on taxpayer-funded welfare, and over 40% of detainees have criminal charges. But instead of dealing with facts, Burns floats this idea that enforcing the law is somehow cruel if there's a kid involved. I mean, she's not interviewing, she's lobbying.
I mean, this is a tough needle to thread for you guys, because really, whatever you call it, a touchback program, like worker carve-outs, MAGA is going to see this as amnesty. So how do you thread that needle, and does bringing the base along here?
There will be no amnesty. I'm just telling you, again, the president's leading the change on this, or leading the discussion on this, and we'll see what comes out of it. But
how do you bring the base along, though, on whatever change?
But look, here's what people, what you need to understand.
Immigration.
What you need to understand is immigration enforcement has always been controversial. It's always been emotional, my whole career. Now, I've seen a lot of terrible things. Everybody has an opinion on immigration. But if they don't know what we know, they don't know what I know. They don't know there's no such thing as innocent illegal immigration. Illegal immigration is not a victimless crime. These people go through hell getting here. Many spend years paying off their smuggling fees. They're abused through the process. And, we're a nation of laws. We'll enforce the laws. So again, I don't want to get too far into the weeds on this, because this discussion is just starting. And I got total faith in the president that he's going to come out with the right recipe on all this.
How do you engage with other cabinet members, though, folks like Brooke Rollins, who do have different priorities? Like for her, it's representing interests of farmers and agriculture groups. Like, what is that push and pull like in the room?
People say don't arrest workers. They don't understand the whole ugly underbelly of illegal immigration the way I do. They have not worked the border. They have not investigated organizations that move these workers in. They have not investigated forced labor trafficking. They have not investigated forced sex trafficking. They have not investigated workers, employers who pay the aliens less, keep part of their paycheck, charge them for room and board. Women that are sex trafficking in the massage parlor are locked inside the massage parlor, not free to go. Their identifications locked in a safe. They're abused. People need to understand the whole world of illegal immigration before they form an opinion, because they don't know, for instance, what I know, what I've seen.
This is where the American people are finally getting what they voted for, a clear, unapologetic rejection of amnesty. I mean, 54% of the country supports Trump's deportation program. That's not fringe, that's a majority. And now backed by $170 billion in funding, ICE is ready to go. 100,000 detention beds, 10,000 new agents, and the authority to operate nationwide. Homan's plan is to arrest 7,000 people a day, and that's just to undo Biden's damage. And the left knows it's popular. That's why they're trying to soften the narrative, claiming amnesty for essential workers or families. But polls show 65% of Republicans reject any amnesty, even for DACA. This isn't just policy, it's about restoring sovereignty. Trump and Homan aren't offering excuses, they're offering results. But let me know what you think. Should ICE agents be allowed to protect themselves the same way the left protects its mobs? Or do they have to play by a different set of rules? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye!